The headlines coming through from FASB agreeing to remove a presumption in mark-to-market accounting rules. And with that, we are going to bring you right now to Capitol Hill. This is just one of the hot topics that is being debated in Washington, D.C. today, along with the president's budget plan. We're going to hit that topic in a minute. But in the meantime, we want to introduce our guest, Congressman Steny. He is joining us now from the Hill. Congressman obviously is the House Majority Leader. We're so glad to have you with us. I just want to ask you, Congressman, right off the bat, what do you make of this idea of FASB relaxing the rules? I mean, this, as you know, in large part has been to blame for some of the financial crisis.
I think there's general agreement with the action that was taken. Clearly, many of these troubled assets, financial institutions have no intention of selling them at fire sale prices, and therefore the valuing them at fire sale prices is really not accurate. And what it has done is it's frozen the ability of banks to do more lending. Clearly, we need greater liquidity in the markets. I think this will help.
On the flip side, Congressman, as you know, is some people saying that, okay, fine, it's hard to value these products, but we need to come up with some sort of amount and put it on the books.
Well, I think that's accurate, and I think that, as you know, the FASB has been directed to accomplish that objective and set the rules. I think their analysis, however, is essentially agreed to by the members of the financial committees on both the House and Senate side, that some adjustments were necessary if we were going to get greater liquidity. I had the opportunity to talk to many of the local banks, of the small banks around this country yesterday, and they're doing pretty well. It's really the big banks that are having the problem, but even the smaller banks that I've talked to, in terms of the accounting rules that they've had to apply, has undermined their ability to make loans.
We want to go back to our guest, Congressman Hoyer, standing by from Capitol Hill. We're talking about the decision coming through from FASB, Financial Accounting Standards Board, pressured basically by financial companies and lawmakers as well to kind of ease these mark-to-market fair value rules. Congressman, we were speaking about this earlier. You mentioned you see a distinction between the way that regional banks do business versus the conglomerates. Overall, though, you think the more lax standards are a good thing?
I think they will. Certainly we'll have to look at those perhaps in a year or 2 years from now, when we get through this economic slump where these assets held by these banks or these financial conglomerates have been very, very substantially reduced. However, again, I would stress that the regional banks and the local banks, which were much more interested in the creditworthiness of those to whom they gave loans, have been doing pretty well. In fact, are now making profits, and indeed, in some instances, their loans are up. But I think this will, in the short term, certainly try to help us through this crisis.
And Congressman, this is Betty. Let me just jump in here real quickly. I mean, if it works, this is great. If it causes more lending, that's great. However, the question that and the concern that this raises is if Congress gets involved, and Congress is getting involved in accounting standards at banks, where does that stop?
Well, now, the Congress did not take this action, as you point out. It was the accounting board standards that took this action.
But Congress has certainly wielded influence on this, though.
The Congress clearly indicated that some easing was probably appropriate in this instance. But Congress did not mandate this. Congress has an opinion on this. The Financial Services Committee had an opinion on this, not as a committee, but the chairman clearly indicated that some modification was probably appropriate, given the crisis that confronted us.